Later, Ellen, see you never. Good luck with that UK weather. You say that Trump's what since you're packing. We know it's cause your career be lacking. Enjoy your cricket, tea and biscuit. Fuel up and fade out your stupid dick. Read all about the latest issue. This just in, nobody will miss you.
MC Gene, our Arkansas Eminem.
When Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly turned their attention to Ellen DeGeneres, kindness didn't stand a chance. Hollywood's beloved dancing talk show host stumbled into the harsh spotlight of reality, with Gutfeld and Kelly exposing every crack, from fake grins to behind-the-scenes chaos. Their analysis strips away the polished facade of the Queen of Nice. Think you know Ellen, think again. This is the unexpected twist her audience and, perhaps even her staff didn't see coming.
Article after article of people being like, Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out, not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said, you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls.
It was all about smiles, sneakers, and lively dance sessions in the studio. Ellen DeGeneres, once hailed as the reigning monarch of daytime cheer, glided across TV screens like a blend of a fairy godmother and a walking motivational quote. Her charm revolved around kindness, seamlessly woven into awkward celebrity chats, product promotions, and crowd giveaways.
DeGeneres feeling the heat as more employees, past and present from her show, say that they were working in a toxic environment. Some Hollywood actors also speaking out against the talk show host now. Let's bring in Carly Shimkus of Fox News Headlines 24/7. Carly, good morning. Great to see you. So what more are we hearing on this story?
Yeah, so things are really spiraling here, and it's sort of two situations unfolding at once. One of them has to do with a mountain of complaints against the show's executive producers. Some 47 past and current employees have complained to BuzzFeed News. Allegations ranging from a toxic work environment, bullying, now even...
But behind that carefully curated curtain of laughter and lively banter was a different story, less whimsical and more troubling. It wasn't a slow simmer of discomfort. It was a full-blown pressure cooker of workplace tension left unchecked. For years, the smiles were rehearsed, the applause staged, and the operation ran with the precision of a military exercise, but with the warmth of a Monday morning at the DMV.
On camera, she laughed while she badgered her staff. And so all good things must end. And also the Ellen DeGeneres show. Yes, the 83-year-old entertainer just announced that the upcoming 19th season of her show will be its last. Apparently, she created a workplace more toxic than an Amazon warehouse in Chernobyl. Countless allegations surfaced last summer that the show's work environment was rife with harassment and discrimination. Following those charges, Ellen's ratings dropped faster than Kevin Spacey's pants at a boy band pool party.
The entire show was a performance, part entertainment, part pseudo-therapy, crafted to appear effortless while tightly controlled behind the scenes. To viewers, it was all laughter and joy. Behind the scenes, however, spontaneity was off, and genuine human interaction came with a detailed backstage manual.
This is not a nice person. So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back. She's got a Netflix special. That's the right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special. And here's the capper. On the promo, and apparently there's now articles out about from people who have seen the preview. She plays the victim. And she says, poor me. And she actually has the nerve to say that she was run out of...
Every segment, every grin, and every heartwarming giveaway was a calculated move, driven less by generosity and more by branding strategies. The pastel-hued set was an elaborate facade, the crew reduced to replaceable cogs in a kindness-themed PR machine. It was a grand illusion of feel-good empire that only truly served the rich, the famous, or those lucky enough to hold a microphone. Then, like a glittering tower of cards in a storm, it all came crashing down. Years of pressure cracked the veneer, and when the dust settled, Megyn Kelly arrived not with soft words or cleanup efforts, but with poise, stilettos, and enough determination to unravel 2 decades of carefully constructed joy. She walked straight into the chaos, exposing every fault line with a level of scrutiny that was both unflinching and devastating. For Megyn, Ellen wasn't just another celebrity caught in a PR misstep. She embodied the deeper flaws in the entertainment industry, a pastel-covered symbol of the contradictions and hollow morality underpinning celebrity culture.
Got canceled for real a few years ago from just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a single comment she said or something she did, just lots of people saying that working for her was a living nightmare and that she's a jerk. And I think that's probably why she wants to leave, because she hasn't really been able to make a comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, remember how everybody loved Ellen? They're like, Ellen, we love you, Ellen's here, yay! And then that all went away. So she probably has been thinking of a reason to leave, and now she thinks that this is the reason to try to make it look like some sort of, look how afraid I am, I feel how you feel because I'm, of Trump.
Yeah, it was just the excuse. She is, Emily, I watched her comedy special. It was like a huge pity party. It was about how she was lamenting how her reputation has suffered. She's essentially as popular as a pit bull with monkey.
Ellen symbolized the polished packaging of virtue, mass-produced and sold as daytime salvation. She didn't just perform kindness, she industrialized it, branding it with a cheery smile and distributing it as a feel-good mantra. Beneath the dance routines and extravagant giveaways was an operation so synthetic it made plastic look natural. Ellen's success wasn't just talent-driven. It thrived on conformity enforced on her staff, the media, and audiences conditioned to clap. On cue, her workplace wasn't a creative hub. It was a test of allegiance. Behind the bright studio lights was a regime of micromanagement and control. The no eye contact rumors weren't whispers. They bordered on policy. Yet, the media, those supposed watchdogs, became complicit, trading skepticism for cameos in her narrative. Megyn didn't need insider leaks to uncover the dysfunction. It was everywhere, pouring out in exasperated stories from former employees. The press, however, chose puppies and cupcakes over accountability, reinforcing the myth of Ellen as daytime's delight, while reality festered behind the curtain.
Putting this on Trump, do you think that she's going to be, just everybody's going to love her in England?
Especially the jihadis who love the lesbians so much. They're going to love her there. I think she's fleeing for way more than her anger over Trump.
If Trump is truly responsible for Ellen's exodus, shouldn't that go down as his greatest achievement in the last 8 years? I mean, he should get the Nobel Prize.
He's literally going to have a who's who of left. I mean, the entire 80s music catalog is gone. You got Springsteen, Cher, Madonna. I just don't know why they keep showing pictures of Aaron Rodgers with blonde hair.
Megyn saw an industry that didn't just tolerate hypocrisy. It celebrated and syndicated it. The entertainment world didn't merely protect Ellen, it relied on her. She was the proof that things could appear pure and lighthearted despite the cracks beneath. But behind the sparkle, it wasn't kindness, it was control. When the facade finally broke, the real shock was how long it took for the truth to surface. Megyn, no stranger to the media's inner workings, wasted no time pulling back the curtain. She outlined Ellen's choreographed rise, hollow apologies, and the ratings nosed of a karmic soap opera. While fans applauded Ellen's dancing, Megyn heard whispers of fear and micromanagement. Ignored for years as the media machine polished Ellen's halo, kindness was just another brand, and, in Hollywood, brands are untouchable until they aren't. Megyn didn't stop with superficial critique. She conducted a full post-mortem, exposing the double standard.
Question for you on this. This is perfect for you. Because I'm seeing this week that there is an attempted comeback by somebody who did not cross one of those fateful lines of misstepping on their sacred cows of gender or race or sexuality.
Yeah.
But she was said to be a nasty biatch, and that's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, I had this birthday party, and Ellen said, well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me. And she said, no, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened. And Ellen had blown her off. and then tried to play the victim on the
When a conservative stumbles, the media descends like vultures on carrion. But Ellen, she got the red carpet treatment, soft headlines, and a sympathy narrative, portraying her as misunderstood. Megyn wasn't buying it and didn't let anyone else buy it either. Just as Ellen's media armor cracked, Greg Gutfeld stormed in. With his trademark sarcasm, Greg didn't hold back. He ripped off Ellen's saintly label and replaced it with "sponsored by Hollywood Delusion." For him, Ellen wasn't a tragic figure, she was the latest mascot of self-inflicted downfall. He mocked her apology tour as a performance worthy of an Oscar, complete with studio lights and a publicist's script. The idea that Ellen was unaware of her toxic workplace, laughable. Greg skewered the Hollywood tendency to market redemption arcs as though they were gum in a vending machine. To him, this wasn't growth. It was PR acrobatics.
We must stay in the hell of Trump. We're out of here. By the way, Walter,
I think we could let the illegal aliens stay if we get enough of Hollywood to self-deport.
yes, I will take 1,000.
You know,
I'll take 1,000 Venezuelan migrants for one share.
Exactly. If you can get one Hollywood star to leave, you get to stay. Otherwise, it's out.
You know what, though? It's funny. I just want to bring this up to you. You can comment or not.
Yeah.
So she left a celebrity base to go to London, and she's already ensconced with other celebrities. So she's basically still in the same bubble.
She's not going back to London. She's going to Oxfordshire. And as the only person on this set who attended Oxford University.
No, way to drop that.
It's true. I can tell you that there is nothing high British Oxford society loves more than a failed and despised American talk show.
Greg also tore into Ellen's obsession with celebrity culture, the endless name-dropping, high-profile interviews, and billionaire friendships. It wasn't just off-brand, it was tacky. Preaching humility with a megaphone made of Gucci didn't land. Ellen wasn't a relatable friend. She was a packaged illusion, sold 5 days a week. Greg didn't stop at Ellen. He turned his wit on the ecosystem that enabled her. Fans clapped like trained seals, staff were treated as props, and the media basked in her charm. Elon's apology optics, a millionaire in sneakers lamenting her mistakes, were the final punchline. Greg ridiculed her "I'm still learning" defense, likening it to a failed Netflix pilot. To him, Ellen's downfall wasn't an accident, it was the result of tripping over her own image while leaning on unpaid interns.
So, home of Matt Lauer, that the bad press actually had nothing to do with her decision. Right, and the Titanic didn't hit an iceberg, it chose to sink.
If it was why I was quitting, I would have not come back this year. I really did think about not coming back because it did, it was devastating. I am a kind person. I am a person who likes to make people happy.
No, the real reason, she says, is it was just too easy. Telling the Hollywood Reporter, quote, "When you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore." Well, if that's true, here's an idea. When your viewership is down 43%, why not consider that the challenge?
Megyn, meanwhile, zoomed in on the fallout. Sponsors withdrew, fans hesitated, and ratings plummeted like a politician failing a polygraph. For Megyn, the scandal wasn't surprising, it was the silence leading up to it that intrigued her. Ellen had trained the public to accept her curated kindness without question. Her rise and fall wasn't just a celebrity scandal. It reflected a cultural shift. People were done with superficial smiles and contrived morals. Ellen's authenticity was the most artificial thing on TV. Megyn analyzed the echo chamber. That sustained Ellen, praised by friends, interviewed by protégés, and defended by loyal fans. It was a studio city, snow globes, shiny on the outside, hollow inside. Greg returned for one last roast, zooming out to frame Ellen as more than a fallen host. She was a symbol, a case study in the absurdities of celebrity culture, where performative goodness is celebrated and accountability is evaded until it's too late.
DeGeneres bails for the UK. All right, I'm gonna go to you first, Kat, because this is such a. I think you understand the story. So Ellen and her wife, Portia, have left their millionaire haven of Montecito for England. Now they're saying they'll never come back in the wake of Trump's win. Do you think that's the reason why she's leaving?
Absolutely.
He compared her empire to a sitcom that forgot it was fiction. Every laugh track timed to perfection, every segment polished to sparkle, and every entrance Ellen made felt more like a performance than a presence. Gutfeld's closing shot. Ellen wasn't just a host, she was the ringmaster of a theme park built on moral superiority. And when it all collapsed, what lingered was the echo of canned applause and the faint whiff of stale vegan snacks. Megyn and Greg didn't simply criticize Ellen, they took her myth apart, glitter by glitter. Not with bitterness, but with precision. They weren't angry, they were scalpel sharp, peeling back Hollywood's illusion layer by glossy layer. No redemption arc, no soft piano cues, no tearful close-up. This wasn't daytime television anymore. This was the raw, fluorescent truth. Ellen, always smiling, morphed from media darling to cautionary tale, reminder that branding and being aren't the same. She wasn't cancelled, she was exposed. And when the persona crumbled, not even her, trademark sneakers could carry her away from the wreckage. Megyn laid bare the cracks. Greg set the stage on fire. Together, they offered a masterclass in celebrity unmasking. This wasn't personal, it was clinical. Megyn diagnosed the problem, Greg delivered the eulogy, and the audience didn't gasp, they nodded. This was recognition, not shock. The curtain didn't fall, it was yanked. This wasn't Elon's show anymore, it was Karma's closing act. And when it was over, Ellen didn't just step down, she spun right off the stage.